Hey everyone, ready to dive into some geothermal engineer interview prep? We're going to tackle some common questions so you can really ace that interview.
Yeah, it's a really exciting field to be in right now, and these jobs they're only going to become more and more important. Geothermal engineers are at the forefront of renewable energy.
Absolutely. Tapping into the Earth's heat for clean energy.
Yeah. Okay, so to get us started, we're going to be using some resources from RoleCatcher. Have you used RoleCatcher before?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, their career guides and skill guides are awesome, but the interview guides those are where it's at.
I agree. And they use AI to kind of like analyze job descriptions and help you tailor your resume and even practice your interview answers. It's pretty amazing.
It's like having an AI career coach right in your pocket.
Okay, so let's jump into some of those interview questions. First one, explain your experience with geothermal resource assessment. What do you think they're looking for with that one? I think with that question, they're really trying to see, like, do you understand the whole process? Finding the geothermal hotspots, evaluating their potential, seeing if they're even viable for a project.
So it's not enough to just say, oh yeah, I'm familiar with geological surveys or I've analyzed data before. You really want to give them those like really specific details.
Yeah, for sure. Like, talk about specific projects. I used this software to analyze this data, and we found a potential geothermal reservoir in this location. That
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly. Show them you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And be ready for some follow-up questions too.
Oh, yeah, they'll definitely dig deeper. Like, what were some of the challenges you faced during these assessments? Did you run into unexpected geological formations? Was the data you were working with, like, was it kind of contradictory or difficult? They want to see how you think on your feet and how you problem solve.
I love that. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the design phase. What experience do you have in designing geothermal power plants?
Okay, so this is where you get to really show off your engineering skills. Talk about projects where you've actually like designed systems components, maybe even entire power plants, and again, be specific.
Yeah, and don't forget to mention the software you're proficient in. Those are always keywords for recruiters.
Right. And be ready to talk about collaboration too. Because, geothermal projects involve big teams. You got engineers, geologists, environmental scientists. I mean, the list goes on. So they're going to want to know how you work with others to make sure the project is a success.
I like that. Teamwork. Okay, let's get our hands dirty now. Next question. What is your experience in drilling and well completion for geothermal projects?
Oh yeah, this is where the rubber really meets the road. It's all about hands-on experience, even if it's just from internships or research projects. Talk about the techniques you've used, any safety protocols you followed, any on-site problem solving you had to do.
I bet they love hearing about a time when something went wrong during a drilling operation and you had to, like, save the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. They want to hear those stories. They might also ask about specific safety measures or a time when you had to make a tough call on site to fix a drilling problem. They're really assessing your decision-making skills and how you handle pressure.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something a bit more analytical. The question is, what experience do you have in geothermal reservoir modeling?
So geothermal reservoir modeling is basically creating a virtual version of the underground reservoir. You're using software to predict how that reservoir is going to behave over time so you can maximize energy extraction and make sure the resource lasts for a long time.
Okay, so it's like a digital twin of the actual geothermal reservoir.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've used any specific modeling software, definitely mention it. And again, highlight those challenges and how you use your problem-solving skills.
What kind of curveballs could they throw at you with this one?
Well, they might ask you about like the limitations of those models or how you would actually go about validating the accuracy of those predictions. They want to know that you understand that it's not just like plug and play. There are some complexities there.
Got it. Okay, next up is a classic knowledge check. Can you explain the difference between a binary and flash geothermal power plant? It's time to show off that geothermal knowledge.
All right, so you want to make sure you really understand the two main types of power plants. So flash plants use high-temperature geothermal fluids to directly create steam, and then that steam drives the turbines. A binary plant is different. It uses a secondary fluid with a lower boiling point to extract the heat from the geothermal fluid.
So it's kind of like a heat exchanger.
Exactly. And each type has its own pros and cons, so be prepared to compare them in terms of efficiency costs and environmental impact.
Great. Okay, on to question number 6. What is the role of a geothermal engineer in a geothermal power project? This one seems a bit broader.
It is. But it's a great chance to show that you understand the whole project life cycle from start to finish. Think about it, you're involved in every stage, from assessing the resource to designing the plant, to overseeing the drilling and well completion, and then even making sure that the plant runs smoothly once it's up and running.
So you're kind of like the conductor of the orchestra, bringing all the different parts together.
I like that. And you got to be ready to talk about how you work with those other specialists, like the geologists and the drilling engineers and the environmental scientists. You're all working together to make sure the project is a success.
Okay. Question number 7. Can you explain the concept of geothermal gradient?
So this is a pretty basic concept in geothermal energy. It's basically just describing how the temperature increases with depth. The deeper you go, the hotter it gets.
So like a journey to the center of the Earth, but for clean energy.
Exactly. You want to be able to connect that concept of geothermal gradient to the potential for energy development, because some areas have steeper gradients where the temperature increases really quickly. And those areas are prime candidates for geothermal projects.
Location, location, location.
Exactly. And be ready to talk about how variations in the geothermal gradient might influence the technology you would choose for a particular project.
Makes sense. Okay, last question. What experience do you have in geothermal exploration? Time to share some adventure stories.
All right, so here you really dive into those exploration projects. Talk about your specific role, what techniques you used, things like geological surveys, geophysical methods, geochemical analysis. Don't be afraid to mention any aha moments or any challenges you had to overcome.
Yeah, like did you have to work in some remote location? Or discover some unexpected geological formation?
Exactly. Those details will make your experience come to life. And remember, they're looking for someone who's passionate about pushing those boundaries and finding those new sources of clean energy.
All right, so we covered a lot there, but before we wrap up, I want to talk a little bit more about how RoleCatcher can help you really fine-tune your answers and practice these questions.
So RoleCatcher's AI is really cool for this. It's like you can actually type in your answer to a question like that drilling one we were just talking about, and it'll analyze it and give you feedback like, are you using the right keywords? Is your answer structured well? Are you highlighting the most relevant experience?
Oh, wow. So it's not just like checking for typos or anything. It's actually giving you strategic advice.
Exactly. It can even suggest specific examples you could add or details that would make your answer even stronger. And it's all tailored to that specific job description that you're going for.
That's wild. It's like having a personalized interview coach, but 24/7.
And don't forget about the video practice feature. You can record yourself answering the questions, and it'll give you feedback on your delivery, your body language, just your overall presentation.
That is amazing, especially for anyone who gets nervous during interviews, like me.
Okay, so let's step back for a second and talk about the bigger picture. Geothermal engineering as a career. RoleCatcher has a whole career guide on it.
Yeah, they do. And one thing they really emphasize is the importance of continuous learning. Because, geothermal is always changing and evolving, so you really got to stay on top of the latest advancements.
So it's not just about getting that first job, it's about constantly expanding your knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. Like going for advanced degrees, going to industry conferences, even doing some research projects. All that stuff can make you a more competitive candidate.
They also mentioned certifications. What's that all about?
Yeah, so there are certifications specifically for geothermal professionals, like Certified Geothermal Designer, Certified Geothermal Installer, Certified Geothermal Heat Pump Designer. And those certifications show that you have, specialized knowledge and you're committed to meeting those professional standards.
So it's about proving what you know, not just saying what you know. Right. And, beyond the technical stuff, RoleCatcher also talks about those soft skills like communication and teamwork and problem solving, which are important for any engineer, but especially in geothermal because the projects are so complex and involve so many people.
So you can't just be brilliant. You got to be able to explain your brilliance to other people and work with them to actually make things happen.
Exactly. And passion. Don't forget passion. RoleCatcher really highlights that a lot of these interviewers are looking for people who are genuinely excited about geothermal energy and its potential to make a positive impact.
Yeah. I mean, when you're passionate about something, it shows. Okay, so before we wrap up, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listener who's about to go into that big interview?
Prepare. Prepare. Practice those answers. Do your research on the company, the role, and, let that enthusiasm shine through. I think that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah, be confident, be knowledgeable, be passionate. And don't forget about RoleCatcher. Those AI tools can really give you an edge. Good luck with the interview. We're rooting for you.
Now that you've heard all about this, what part of geothermal engineering are you most excited to explore further?
And do you think geothermal energy can play a major role in the fight against climate change? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, those are really great questions to think about. It's amazing how much potential geothermal has to really change the world.
Yeah, and I think that kind of drive, to learn to contribute, to make a difference, that really comes through in an interview.
For sure. It's not just about, checking off boxes on a resume. It's about showing your passion, your problem-solving skills, your ability to work with a team,
And your commitment to making a real difference. That's what makes this such a rewarding career. You're not just designing systems, you're shaping the future of energy.
and helping to create a more sustainable world.
So yeah, go into that interview with confidence, show them what you know, and let that passion shine through. You're going to do great.
Remember, you're not just interviewing for a job, you're joining a community of innovators who are all working towards the same goal, harnessing the power of the earth for the benefit of everyone.
And who knows, maybe someday you'll be the one leading the way, designing those groundbreaking power plants, or even coming up with new technologies we haven't even thought of yet.
The possibilities are endless.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of geothermal engineering. We hope you feel ready to go out there and ace that interview.
Good luck. We're all rooting for you.